y'all? It's Joe Master Lee here. I cannot believe this is the first time in decades that there is no E3. And as a bona fide geek, I have to say E3 has always been one of my top 3 events of the year that I always look forward to. Whether it's because I used to have to work the show, or whether it's because of those press conferences where they announce so many cool new games, or whether it's just because E3 really is the representation of the gaming industry and showcasing everything that is beautiful that is coming out to the world. Yeah, it feels weird not having one, but I love the fact that there are a number of gaming companies that are still holding digital press conferences. And if anything, it's probably getting just as many views and interest from people around the world this year because we reached that inflection point where so many people now have the technology and the means to stream these events live. So it feels like you're a part of this collective group of people who get to watch and enjoy and then a huge announcement and partake of that hype. So Digital Devolver just had theirs, making a couple announcements, and I wanted to check out this one thing that they've done that I have not seen many gaming companies do before. They created a gameplay-like experience that is in essence like a tour of all their games. It's called Devolverland Expo. It's free on Steam. You should go check it out. It's a very cool concept. It reminded me of something that I worked on before when I was at Loot Crate, and it made me wish that I had actually put out this prototype that I created because I think people would have really enjoyed it. You see, back when I was at Loot Crate, I headed up the digital games department, a brand new group that I put together. It was just a handful of us, and each month we would create some cool new digital experience, whether it's some VR thing that we did for a hackathon or an AR experience where you could scan the box and all the toys and things would pop out. But in 1 month, we created this prototype that was basically like a light gameplay experience so you can run around this world, and it included a bunch of different references of things that Loot Crate had worked on over the years. It was in essence like a mini interactive museum with some light quest elements of a collectathon type of thing. And it was a little bit janky and not everything worked perfectly, but it was really cool. And a lot of people in the office really enjoyed it. And unfortunately, it was never released to the public. Now, I don't think Loot Crate would ever put it out now, but I think I might have a copy of this somewhere and I can find it. I'll see if I can put it out there sometime just so you guys can run around. All right, so let's check out this Devolverland Expo. And away we go.
The convention center is now closed. Please vacate. You are not welcome here. Exhibitor merchandise is off limits. Your curiosity will end you.
So cool. Wow. This is a lot better design than I would have ever thought.
You received too much. You'll be back this year. So much for the future.
That was so cool. I loved it. Shoot, the trailer itself makes it feel like it's really compelling, makes you want to go and download it. But the fact that you're allowed to go and interact with different things, and they have these different zones, these themes, almost like when you walk into an amusement park, right? They have like different themes, each one modeled after one of the games that they're announcing here. And there's a couple here that are instantly like, I got to go check out next. So make sure you subscribe and stay tuned because I will react to 2 of them that I'm really looking forward to, which is Serious Sam 4 and this other one, which is Shadow Warrior 3. Never really played much of it before, but I'm really curious what they do with this Asian theme here. But yeah, really freaking well done. This took a lot more than a week to build, which is about how much time we had when we created ours. They put a lot of effort into this. And I will say this, and I think this is actually something that a lot of smaller game publishers have to think about. Like, you have to get feisty. You have to get very creative and innovative in order to be able to get the attention from people when they go to events like this because they're all there for the big guys. They're there for Nintendo. They're there to see what Sony's going to announce. The big publishers will always get prime real estate when it comes to exposure. But I have to say, Digital Devolver does a lot of things very innovative for a small company to get its unfair share of attention. And stuff like this is exactly how a small publisher, and I would say even developer, this is what you got to do to be able to play with the big boys, to get attention. And this is the stuff that I used to love working on because I've always worked with smaller game publishers. I used to work at Bethesda Softworks. This was right before Elder Scrolls is this big cultural phenomenon today. I worked at Hudson Entertainment when they were coming back to the US after being gone for over 10 years. And I love the fact they're trying to reintroduce all these classic games, the TurboGrafx games, Bomberman, to a new generation of fans. And that was until Konami acquired them and pretty much just ruined everything. But yeah, I love the underdog story. And I love when they do cool stuff like this. So kudos. This was definitely one of the coolest marketing trailers I've ever seen. I mean, it is. It's just pure marketing. That's all it is. What I hope they do is that they build on this year after year. In other words, rather than create a whole new download experiences, make sure that they have this shell, right? This framework, and they just keep adding to it. And you can go back and play things from past experiences. So it just gets bigger and bigger every single year. I guarantee you people will come back. People who played it before, perhaps if they, they can level up and go back to these old zones or there's new cool Easter eggs, plus exploring the new stuff. And in fact, I think Digital Devolver might even find that going to E3 is a big waste of money, which I think a lot of game companies are starting to feel like it's just one way overpriced shot at getting attention. And in fact, if I remember correctly, you could, for basically a booth size of a bedroom, right? This is not talking about those huge spaces that you get on convention floors, which is multiple times more expensive. But if you were just to get a space that was just for meeting spaces, you would be paying over $25,000 just for that. This is in one of those halls that's like in the basement that you have to go through a dungeon and walk 50 miles to. Like basically no one goes there except for just the meetings. That's how much it is. And that was at least 5 to maybe 7 years ago. So I'm willing to bet those prices have maybe even doubled. Maybe it's closer to like $35,000 to $45,000 now. So it's just out of hand. And the fact that a number of game publishers had already started to pull out of E3, that was just an inevitability. When you're the only game in town, you abuse your position. So love the fact that E3 is still going on digitally. Love the fact Digital Devolver is doing stuff like this. And love being a gamer, yo. Oh, peace out.